Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Everyday Junior Sports Wrap-Up Show. Today is the 27th of January on a Tuesday, 2026. And for everybody who is still suffering the fallout from the last winter storm that we had this past weekend, some of y'all down in the south without power, stay safe out there, stay warm out there. Hopefully you guys will have your power back on sooner rather than later. All right. The I got a lot of things to talk about today that should have happened yesterday, but before I get to all of that, I wanted to um, let everybody know that yesterday was the 26th of January. We had the 6-year anniversary of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, and seven other people passed away during the helicopter crash that Sunday morning in LA. We started of 9 people passing, and Kobe Bryant and his daughter was 2 of those 7 people passed away during that crash when it headed to the Mammo Academy in Calabasas, California. That day touched a lot of people, NBA players, WNBA players, a lot of professional athletes, and a lot of people who was a big fan of Kobe Bryant over the years when he was with the Lakers, 5 championships, and a lot of people still thought about Kobe to this day. I have as well, but at the end of the day, when somebody passed away, you just keep on living, you just keep grieving, but also this keep give you a lot of hope down the road for anybody who you love a lot, love so much, but also just keeping thoughts and prayers to everybody who is affected by this crash by with Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, and hopefully everybody will be there for their loved ones if something like this happens to their relative or they are significant other or anybody. So continue to give praise to Kobe Bryant and his family. Still grieving for their losses, but you never know what's going on. But grateful that the family is doing so well 6 years after Kobe Gianna passing, and everybody else, 7 other people, as well as their families as well. So, all right, now let's head into the part of the show. We'll begin with some NFL news and notes here. When I last spoke to y'all on Black Monday, that that we're gonna have some head coaches being fired, and we already know what was going on since the firings of the ones that already been fired back on Black Monday. The latest firing from the latest firing coming from Sean McDermott out of the Buffalo Bills after what happened on on the original weekend when they had plays that it could have gone their way or whatever, but not just that performance, but the playoff performance overall that Sean McDermott could not get over the hump for the Buffalo Bills despite going to 2 AFC Championship games, but not go over the hump to go to the Super Bowl. So, as of that result, he's been let go, and we just got some breaking news about 10, 15 minutes ago that Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, has been named their head coach or promoted to be their next head coach of the Buffalo Bills. He was their OC for a few seasons after the firing from Ken Dorsey, but Joe Brady's going to do better. I expect a lot of expectations for Joe Brady. I like to see a lot of expectation on Josh Allen because they know each other pretty well, because they know the system pretty well. So it's not going to be too difficult of making this transition from OC to head coach for the Buffalo Bills. So now that Ted Begula's talking about what was the issue with Keon Coleman after they drafted him. But also, Brandon Beane is not only the general manager, now he's the president of football operations in Buffalo right now. And Josh Allen was pretty much with them now of the head coaching search, now that they finally got Joe Brady to be promoted as the head coach, can Buffalo gets to turning around in the playoffs? Not just the regular season. They got great regular season success, but when it comes down to playoffs, they got to get it done. And what happened back in the divisional playoffs against Denver was maybe one or two things that changes things, but you never know what's going on in the NFL because there's a lot of news and updates and whatever. So the head coach's updates, and I'm gonna bring it to you as well. Robert Saleh just got hired by the Titans. Kevin Stefanski is now the head coach of Atlanta. Jesse Minter is now the head coach of Baltimore. John Harbaugh is now the coach of the Giants. Jeff Haley is now the coach of Miami. And over the weekend, Mike McCarthy has just been named head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin stepping back as head coach of the Steelers after 19 seasons. Won one Super Bowl championship as the head coach of the Steelers. That was back in the 2008-09 season. Mike McCarthy. If everybody knows why they hired him, that could be potentially bringing back Aaron Rodgers back to the fold with the Steelers. We don't know what Rodgers' decision is going to be. We just have to wait it out. But Mike McCarthy is the next head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Some more breaking news as well. Brian Daboll, the former Giants head coach, is suspected to be hired as Titans head coach if he does not take the Raiders job in Vegas. So hopefully we're getting some more news about that before this episode ends today. Another note as well: Mike McDaniel, the former Miami Dolphins head coach, is heading to the Chargers as their next offensive coordinator. So the last three head coaching spots has still been vacated as of 15 minutes ago. The Browns, Raiders, and Cardinals. So hopefully we're gonna have some more news about it as well. After today's show, I will not be back on until the night of the Super Bowl when I come back on and bring a special new episode of the Henry Day Jr. Sports Wrap-Up Show, or the following day after the Super Bowl. So after this episode, I will not be back on to either day. So the postseason has been so amazing to a lot of fans, including me and myself. The wildcard games have been so awesome. 4 of the 6 wildcard games have been one score, while 2 of the 6 games have been double digits. Were won by double digits. The Rams, Bears, 49ers, Patriots, and Texans move on to the second round of the playoffs. Round 2 was a different story. The Broncos edged out the Bills 33-30. And that game was in overtime in Denver, between Buffalo and Denver, while the Seahawks blown out the 49ers 41-6. And then the Patriots picked off C.J. Stroud 4 times, including the pick 6 by Marcus Jones. They won that game in snowy Foxborough. And then the Rams and Bears meet in overtime, and the Rams pulled off a 20-17 win over Caleb Williams and the Bears to move on to the NFC Championship game. The Patriots move on to the AFC title game, and now the AFC title game, AFC NFC title games are here. Winners move on to the Super Bowl 2 weeks from Sunday night, and that's what we are going now to the conference championship games this past Sunday. The Super Bowl matchup is set: the Patriots versus the Seahawks in the Super Bowl 49 rematch. If you don't know what happened back in the Super Bowl, I'll give you a quick refresher. It was Seattle and New England, Tom Brady versus Russell Wilson. The Seahawks are looking to win back-to-back championships, while the Patriots are going to win their 4th championship. If you did not know, Russell Wilson threw a bomb towards the right side of the field, caught by Jermaine Kutch, and they about to set at the red zone, and one false swoop right there. Instead of handing the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, he threw the ball, getting picked up by Malcolm Butler, and that's how the Patriots won their 4th championship and prevented the Seahawks to win back-to-back championships. Since then, Seattle had not made it back to the NFC title game nor the Super Bowl until this season. So as the saying goes, wait till next year, right? Wrong. The Super Bowl rematch is now been set on February 8th. The Patriots has gotten the win over Denver 10-7. It was snow flurries in Denver on Sunday afternoon that make the kicking game a little bit harder. Any Bordeaux and Will Lutz missed 2 field goals apiece. They missed 2 field goals apiece because of not just the snow, but the wind making a factor of it as well. And the interception from Jared Stidham to Christian Gonzalez just put any chances for Denver to tie this game away. Drake may run a first down to seal the win from the Patriots. It's going to be their first Super Bowl since the 2018-19 season when they beat the Rams 13-3 in Atlanta for Super Bowl 53. And while the Patriots won the AFC title game, the Seattle Seahawks and LA Rams come down to one possession. But what happened was in that 4th down and 4 in that 6-yard line, Matt Stafford threw the ball into the end zone, and the Seahawks defense put an end to that drive for the Rams. And as the pass from Stafford to Puka Nacua, that was out of bounds, or was inbounds. He did not get out of bounds, and the game was over. Seattle won the game 31-27. This is their first Super Bowl appearance since the 2014-15 season. This is the 4th time they make the Super Bowl as the number 1 seed for the Seattle Seahawks. As the New England headlines their 12th Super Bowl since the 85-86 season, they first since Super Bowl 53 against the Rams. Well, the Seahawks are looking for their 2nd title in franchise history, while the Patriots looking for their 7th championship. If they win their 7th championship, that will be tied Tom Brady for the most all time in NFL history. Now it's been 11 years since the Seahawks and Patriots met in the Super Bowl. Drake May puts the Sam Darnold a dream game to remember. The Super Bowl from Santa Clara will be in 2 weeks. Could the Seahawks get payback, or would the Patriots beat the Seahawks again? We'll find out on February 8th. The game will be on NBC and Peacock. That game could be huge ramifications for Sam Darnold, who just earned $1 million bonus, if I'm not mistaken, for winning the NFC Championship game Sunday afternoon. So I will keep everybody updated on the NFL news updates, whatever, on the next episode after the Super Bowl, after the game on February 8th, or the day after on February 9th. All right, let's go to NBA news. The trade deadline is February 5th. Most teams are getting ready to trade a big piece for a run of an NBA championship. The big news is that Giannis Antetokounmpo has been upset with the Bucks for a while now about the losing and the roster issues as well. The Bucks are likely to trade Giannis soon. In other news, Ja Morant and the Grizzlies have some issues, and Ja has been in and out of the lineup due to injuries. Grizzlies don't know if they're going to trade Ja Morant at all. He's going to be out another 3 weeks because of elbow issues. We don't know if they're going to trade Ja Morant. They don't know what the trade package is going to be for Ja Morant. I don't know too. Sean Sharania put out all the news of what's been going on around the NBA, and I just figured out what needs to be done. But we don't know about when. We don't know what the Grizzlies are going to do if or not they're going to trade John Morant until he comes back, but we'll find out. Giannis is out 4 to 6 weeks with his latest injury, so that's going to be very hard for teams to get Giannis if he's not available. More news out of the NBA. Other trade rumors around John Morant, but also Zach LaVine as well. Most teams are looking for a big piece to make a run at the playoffs. But when I'm looking at this, is that when I'm not talking about John Morant entirely. We don't know what his situation will be. Zach LaVine, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan. There should be other teams looking for pieces for their rosters to improve for the rest of the season. And I'll tell you this much: anytime I've heard about trade rumors, that would be saying what is going to be the likelihood of a team that can make or break a season if they get the biggest piece off the market, off the trade market. So you never know what's going to happen and how this is going to affect the team who got a chance to make a run at a championship. I see what the Cavaliers did, acquiring Channing Frye. You lose Anderson Varejao to the Warriors, but you bounce back winning the NBA title that year in 2016. But that's one of maybe few teams that make the jump to get the bigger pieces just to win a championship. Go back to Toronto, for example. Remember, the Raptors acquiring both Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green from the San Antonio Spurs, and they won a championship in 2019. You can go back to the Lakers winning the championship in the bubble, not just gotten J.R. Smith, but getting Dwight Howard as well, but also you got Rajon Rondo as well, and y'all won an NBA championship. It all started with that trade with Anthony Davis back in that offseason from the New Orleans Pelicans. That's how the Lakers won that NBA championship. You hired Frank Vogel, you put the pieces together, and that's how you got a winner right there. Well, now you got J.J. Redick as your head coach. Luka Doncic is almost a year since the trade happening from Dallas to L.A., and the Lakers won last night against Chicago, and they won three of the first eight games in the Grammy road trip. 3-1. They got Cleveland tomorrow, and LeBron's going back home to take on the Cavaliers tomorrow night. So at any point, we don't know what the situation is going on before the trade deadline, during the trade deadline, and after the trade deadline. So I'm going to get everybody some more news to digest what's going on after the trade deadline. Before doing the trade deadline, I might go be saying that we may not have any major trades going on during the deadline, but we'll figure that out once I got the news available. Time for my top 5 players of the week in the NBA. The number 5 on my list is the MVP SGA. Played pretty good basketball so far. The Thunder just lost only 10 games this season. Steph Curry from the Warriors. Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics continuing to play well despite Jason Tatum not playing so far this season. Hopefully, I'd be surprised if he'd be back this season. Kevin Durant for the Rockets, and Luka Doncic for the Los Angeles Lakers. My top 5 teams of the week. The Oklahoma City Thunder is the defending NBA champions, but also Detroit Pistons play a lot of great basketball as well. The Cavaliers is number 3 on my list. The Lakers is number 4 on my list, and San Antonio is number 5 on my list. And then I got some more NFL news as well, but will be the nominees for the NFL honors coming up February 5th. That's the same day as the NBA trade deadline. And that will be next Thursday night. That will be Super Bowl week begins Monday with opening night in San Jose, California. All right, the nominees for the NFL Honors Awards. The MVP is the most important award. We had not had a running back win MVP since Adrian Peterson did in 2012. Here's your nominees for MVP. Matthew Stafford, Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen. Defensive Player of the Year nominees: Myles Garrett, Will Anderson Jr., Nick Bonito, Michael Parsons, Aiden Hutchinson. Offensive Rookie of the Year: Jackson Dart, Emeka Ibuka, Travion Henderson, Tech McMillan, Tyler Shaw. For the Defensive Rookie of the Year nominees, Abdul Carter, Nick Imamori, James Pierre Jr., Carson Swillinger, Xavier Watts from the Atlanta Falcons. Comeback Player of the Year, Stephon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Dak Prescott, Chris McCaffrey, and Trevor Lawrence. Assistant Coach of the Year, Vic Fangio, Brian Flores, Vic Joseph, Clint Kubiak, Josh McDaniels. Coach of the Year, Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike Vrabel. And for Offensive Player of the Year, Drake May, CMC, Puka Nacua, Bijan Robinson, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. Congratulations to the nominees for MVP and the other awards that they're going to announce on NFL Honors February 5th. NBC and NFL Network will have the award show. John Hamm, not only from Madman and Landman, will host the NFL Honors next Thursday night. And last but not least, I got some baseball news to talk to you guys about. MLB is coming up on the rise. Spring training coming up in a month. The regular season coming up in late March. So we got some news to cover, you guys. Well, the offseason kicks off with a bang. The New York Mets not only signed a few players, but getting Freddie Peralta, Luis Roberts Jr., but also signed Bo Bichette as well. Remember, the Mets thought they had a deal in place for Kyle Tucker, but Tucker took the deal with the Dodgers. But they made the next best thing, lost the Kyle Tucker sweepstakes, but also getting Bo Bichette from the Toronto Blue Jays, signed a 3-year deal to join the Mets. The Dodgers made a huge big move, signing Kyle Tucker from the Chicago Cubs. Jose Ramirez has now signed an extension to stay with the Guardians. Cody Bellinger has now signed an extension, a 5-year deal to stay with the New York Yankees. While the Diamondbacks had now traded for Noah Arenado, the 10-time Gold Glove has now returned to the NL West. Remember, he was with the Rockies, got traded to St. Louis, and then St. Louis traded him back to the NL West, but with Arizona. He just waived his no-trade clause to go to Arizona. Alex Bregman has signed a deal with the Chicago Cubs after being in Boston for one season. The Red Sox has traded for both Sonny Gregg and Wilson Contreras in separate deals from the St. Louis Cardinals. Ranger Suarez also signed a 5-year deal with the Boston Red Sox. The Philadelphia Phillies had re-signed both JT Realmuto and Kyle Schwarber, separate deals. Schwarber a 5-year deal, Realmuto for a 3-year deal. But also, Pete Alonso, the former 2-time home run derby champion, got set the record for the most home runs in Mets history, has just signed a 5-year deal to the Baltimore Ravens. That's a couple of names that they already lost, that including Brandon Nimmo, got traded to Texas. We know about Pete Alonso, signed a deal with Baltimore, but also Edwin Diaz signed a deal with the Dodgers as well. But also they got Devin Williams, switched jerseys from the Bronx to Queens. We're united with Freddie Peralta, David Stearns. Those three men was with the Brewers, back with the Mets. We united back with the Mets. That's all I can say. And one more note that I wanted to let everybody know that since Drake May will be participating in his first Super Bowl, the NFL has decided to replace Drake May with Shedeur Sanders from the Cleveland Browns. Well-deserved recognition for Shedeur Sanders to play in the Pro Bowl games on February 3rd. And what a nice job there by the NFL to even considering Nate Shedeur, Drake May's replacement in the Pro Bowl games. So I will be back between February 8th or February 9th for a new episode of the Henry Day Jr. Sports Wrap-Up Show. And before I leave, one more thing that I want to be saying to y'all. My pick for the Super Bowl is the New England Patriots. The Patriots is going to be the number 1 seed in the Seattle Seahawks, and the Patriots going to go out there and win their 7th championship. I'd like to say good luck to both Seattle and New England for making this far. They in the Super Bowl in Santa Clara in a couple of weeks, February 8th. Good luck to both of y'all. Make the best team win. I'm out. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody, on February 8th. And I'll be back February 8th or February 9th for a new episode of the Henry Day Jr. Sports Wrap-Up Show on my YouTube channel. God bless you guys. Take care. Stay safe. Oh, by the way, if you are a member of the Dream Team at Church of the Highlands at my campus in Columbus, we got the 25th anniversary Dream Team Gala at 7:15 Eastern, Friday night at the Trade Center. You don't want to miss it if you're a part of the Dream Team. Now I'm signing off. Have a good day. Have a great week. And I'll talk to y'all guys again after the Super Bowl or the day after the Super Bowl.